What has been the toughest point in your career where you've really needed to dig deep and come back a better version of yourself? Brought to you by Menulog, who's currently in one of the greatest bounce backs all time.
I think that the most challenging part of my career was probably, I probably wanted to stay at the Dragons for my whole life. I was pretty comfortable there, and sort of getting told that I didn't really get told, or that was probably the worst thing about the whole thing was
no communication.
There was no communication whether they wanted to sign me or not, and it was sort of like, got to the point where I was like, I don't think they're going to sign me, so we're going to move on. And I'd signed the deal, kept it hush-hush, and that's when they finally, with Warriors, and that's when they finally come to me and go, look, we don't want to devalue you and try to sign you on less here. We're happy for you to sort of go. And that was after I'd already signed. It was like sitting there, little but which I sort of had the impression anyway, like, I think they signed another centre at the time, and they'll move in a different direction. Coaches, Paul McGregor obviously got sacked, or left, sorry, and then Dean Young wasn't going to be the coach again, so I think they were moving in a different direction. I think where they get Hook down there after them, maybe.
Might have been Hook, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, just dealing with that. Sort of you're pretty disappointed by it. You've put a lot of work in there, and to be able to sort of pick yourself up and make sure Warriors offered me a good opportunity over there, and didn't end up going over to New Zealand only for a few matches, but I was sort of excited about what they could bring in the team they were putting together. And
so just with the Dragons, I mean, you'd debuted there, you'd spent essentially 5 seasons there. Was the most disappointing thing just a lack of communication, or was it actually having to leave the Dragons?
Yeah, it's probably a bit of both. Like, I'm a pretty direct person, as I've shown before. Like, I'd rather just have the conversation nice and early. We know where we both stand, and then you're not guessing either. No one wants to guess. So, and they might have been undecided at the time, so I get that. So I'm not unrealistic about it, but it sort of dragged on long enough.
Still communicate that.
Yeah.
Guys,
so,
we're just undecided.
Yeah. So, and whether they did or not, but yeah, I was sort of sitting there going like, are they still keen? Because I thought I was playing all right, but again, it doesn't help when your team's not winning.
Yeah.
You're thinking you're playing good, and you probably are doing your role as best you can, but when you're on the other side of winning, it's not great. So, and obviously we were sitting pretty low at the ladder at the time.
Yeah. So the Warriors, they offered you a 2-year deal, was it?
Yeah, 3-year deal actually.
3-year deal.
Yeah.
So you said yes to them. The second year though, you get Player of the Year that year. Leading into that year, was anything different?
To be honest, I started playing back row the back end of the year before.
Okay,
so that was a funny story too, because it wasn't that he wanted to put me in the back row. It was just literally we had no one else to play there. He said, you're probably best suited to be able to play there and still do a job.